Hello, everyone. Welcome to KTAL News Now. I'm your host, Anthony Mocklin, and today is Monday, which means it is weekend recap here on KTAL News Now, where we will be covering everything that kind of happened over the weekend around the area, several community events, as well as government-related things on a proposed data center construction in Shreveport. We'll get into all of that and more as we go through the show. I hope everyone out there had a fantastic weekend, a very safe weekend. It was a very, very chaotic weekend in terms of national headlines where you had a shooting in Australia, and then there was also a shooting at Brown University. Lots of details going around and news stories regarding that. We don't know the full extent of everything yet, but be sure to stick with us through ktalnews.com to find all of your updates regarding that and beyond. But today on Weekend Recap, we're going to go ahead and look at some things that happened over the weekend, specifically first up in DeSoto Parish, where the DeSoto Parish deputies arrested a driver who was going down the wrong side of I-49, and whenever they confronted him, they found that he was completely naked in the driver's seat, and he led them down a dangerous pursuit down I-49, and the entire arrest was captured on camera. And KTAL's Maya Alicia has more on how the deputies were able to stay calm through a very, very chaotic situation.
Every day, deputies respond to calls not knowing what they'll find. Monday's incident in DeSoto Parish, where a naked man fled from officers, raises the question, how do officers stay calm under pressure? Captain Michael Dunn says it comes down to training.
They kind of have the repetition of dealing with those people, and they know that keeping our composure is important because if we get out of control, then that person is just going to get more out of control. So that just comes with time and experience of learning how to deal with people.
When the man refused to exit his vehicle, Corporal Kelby Pera and K9 Karen got involved. K9s help locate and get people into custody.
They are a big part of our life and we love our dogs, but at the end of the day, they are a tool that we use just like anything else we have at the sheriff's office. A dog's life is not equal to human life.
Pera says there are serious charges for injuring or killing a police animal. Karen wasn't injured during this arrest. He checks her thoroughly after every incident to make sure a vet is not needed. As for the driver, he was bitten during the arrest and treated at the hospital. He's charged with aggravated flight and resisting an officer, with bond set at $80,000. Maya Alicia, NBC6 News.
And the DeSoto Parish Sheriff's Office says all of their deputies and K9 units undergo all kinds of training, including ones where it is specifically for unpredictable situations. And I cannot think of a more unpredictable situation than this one. I mean, I can't even imagine trying to apprehend somebody who leads you on this dangerous car chase only to find that he is completely naked in the driver's seat. Like, I can't even imagine it. I don't want to imagine it personally. I don't know about y'all, but that's just not something I would like to envision. So props to them for apprehending the guy and making sure that nobody ended up getting hurt, or, because it could have been a lot worse. Because when it comes to those car chases, it can be so dangerous the longer it goes on. But thankfully, it was at night, so there wasn't as many people on the road. But still, even just a few cars on the road, it still would have posed a serious threat to them. So props to the DeSoto Parish office for making sure that nobody got in harm's way with a very, very crazy situation. I can't even imagine being put in their shoes and trying to deal with that. But on to our next story from the weekend, specifically in Miller County, where a former deputy for the Miller County Sheriff's Office is speaking out after he is facing a felony theft charge in what he describes as just accounting errors. And KTAL's Maya Alicia has more on that situation.
Former Miller County Sheriff's Office Deputy Shane Johnston says he lost his job and is wrongly being charged with felony theft over a simple mistake. Johnston was fired on December 5th and notified of charges 6 days later. He says his Amazon account holds multiple cards, and while making personal purchases of about $3,000, the transaction defaulted to the Miller County K9 Fund account.
You cannot tell me you can prove that I sat there and clicked that button and purposely spent the money off that card when I'm the one that purposely raised all the money for that dog.
The former deputy says that for the past 2 years, he devoted his time to building their K-9 program with no help and no proper setup, often paying for items out of pocket or with donations. Johnston says not only has he paid back the money for the personal purchases, but he also paid off the K-9 fund, totaling $9,758.33.
I don't know if you ever worked so hard for something and it just get pulled out from under you like nothing. Even though you might have made some mistakes along the way, but the whole time you were treated, you never had any backing. You were treated like a piece of crap.
Johnston admits his mistakes and prepares to turn himself in on Monday.
Nobody stands up for themselves when it's against a department. They don't, because they've always been scared of them. And I was too for the longest, because I didn't want to lose my dog, didn't want to lose my job. But I don't have nothing to lose now.
Despite facing felony charges, Johnston says he's going to keep fighting to clear his name. Maya Alicia, NBC6 News.
And to follow along with this story and more, visit KTALnews.com. Hopefully they get things sorted out and that the proper result ends up happening from this, because that is just a very, very unfortunate situation to be in. So hopefully both parties involved can cooperate and hopefully come to a resolution. But sticking with law enforcement, specifically when it comes to the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office, KTAL NBC6 salutes the badge. And this past weekend, we honored the life of the late Captain Aaron Cornelius of the Caddo Parish Sheriff's Office. And KTAL's Grace Jensen spoke with a principal of a local high school who knew the captain and shares more.
Captain Aaron Keith Cornelius served as the school resource officer at Green Oaks Performing Arts Academy for nearly 2 decades.
He'd know somebody everywhere, so he was just a real positive person, influential in the community.
Principal Joseph Anderson knew Cornelius professionally before getting to know him personally.
Well, I met him when he was Deputy Cornelius when I first came here in 2009 as the basketball coach, and he used to travel with us, and he was just a very positive brother, always speaking life, then cracking jokes in the next minute. You know, he always would come talk to the players, keep our mind right.
Anderson shares his fondest memory of Cornelius, reflecting on how he was a positive light to everyone he met.
When I was originally here, it was hours at a time. We'd just be in the gym. After hours, just cracking jokes, talking. You know, he'll give you a lot of positive pointers, you know, financial advice, just career advice, things he's seen over the years, how to handle different situations. He was just a positive light to everybody he met.
After news of Captain Cornelius's passing became known, Anderson said he had many people, including former Green Oaks athletes, reach out. He says Cornelius will be truly missed by everyone who knew him.
It was devastating because the influence he had on a lot of people around here. Because I want to say he had been here almost 20 years. And you know, that's a lot of people that you touch over the years. And that's not just counting the community that you see in and out these doors.
Reporting in Shreveport, Grace Jensen, NBC6 News.
And the funeral for Captain Cornelius was held this Saturday at New Testament United Pentecostal Church. Our thoughts and prayers go out to his family and his loved ones in this very, very dark time for them. Hopefully that they can grieve healthily and overcome this and keep moving forward. But again, our thoughts and prayers go out to Captain Cornelius, his family, his loved ones, and the entire community in regards to his recent passing earlier this month. But looking to some government-related news around Shreveport, there is a proposed data center that it wants to be constructed in West Shreveport, and citizens made their voices heard both for and against it and about this proposal at a meeting. And KTAL's Alexandra Meacham has more on what people were saying about the new data center.
Many public comments were made during today's City Council meeting, with people speaking in support of the proposal, with others detailing why they are opposed. Some had questions about the company behind the data center, which has not been publicly disclosed, along with concerns about how it would impact their water, electricity, and quiet neighborhoods. Others asked the council to pass the proposal, saying the huge investment is needed to fund improvements for the city's revenue and infrastructure.
This opportunity that you're considering today for the data center is helping us to do that with an industry that's modern and clean.
I've been waiting for Shreveport to come back for my whole career. And I think we have something here that is the future of America.
And we would like to have more meetings, more information, so that those of us that are surprisingly impacted will understand better what is coming to our neighborhood.
Transparency has not been honored in practice, maybe in words, but not in practice.
Short-term speculative investment made by carpetbaggers and scam artists to try and basically pull the rug under a desperate, dying city.
Officials with the Louisiana Economic Development Partnership say the center would bring in 150 permanent jobs and 200 indirect jobs. The proposal is on City Council's agenda for December 18th.
And in regards to the proposed data center, Mayor Tom Arsenault recently defended the proposal and construction of it with some remarks.
He says the proposed center would likely involve billions of dollars of economic investment into the city. The mayor says the proposed site is already zoned as an industrial park, and any excess water and sewer usage would be paid by the business, not the city or taxpayers.
I do understand that there are environmental concerns, but they don't have to do with the data center itself. They have to do with water usage and building additional fossil-fueled electrical plants.
He also says the purchasing of goods and services by construction workers will increase sales tax revenue. City Council will be holding a special meeting on Thursday, December 18th, with the data center proposal on the agenda.
And some Shreveport community members have recently taken it a step further by creating an online petition against the proposal of the data center, and they did so via Action Network online. And the petition states, our city, quote-unquote, leaders are trying to push through unpopular policies surrounding a huge data center. They've signed NDAs to hide their motivations and beneficiaries, all while doing no work to hear the public out on their concerns, especially of those most affected by this project, the residents of the Greenwood area. We've heard from our mayor and others on the council about the proposed benefits of this data center, but not once have we heard them express concern about the impact of the data center on residents living near it. Concerns about noise, air pollution, increases in utility rates, while the grid continues to degrade, and wastewater have not been addressed at all. We say no to unwanted, undemocratic data centers. We say no to quarter-century tax breaks and NDAs. Sign this petition to call on our leaders to put a stop to this in favor of a more democratic process. And they further state that by signing the petition, you are calling on the mayor and the city council to do the following. Number one, to pause all negotiations with the data center company. Number two, reveal and where possible, break the terms of the NDAs that the city has signed regarding these data centers. And number three, create a new negotiation process that centers the will of the people and focuses first and foremost on the wants and needs of those potentially impacted by said project. Now, clearly, this is a very hot button topic when it comes to just the country as a whole. I mean, it uses so many resources, and environmentally, it is very, very detrimental because of the use of just the sheer amount of water that it uses. We're talking millions of gallons of water per day just to cool the systems, just for you to be able to create an AI photo of your cat fighting with a sword or something. Like, it's just so tiresome at this point, honestly. I mean, you can kind of hear in my voice, it's so tiring to just go back and forth about this, where all these big tech companies are trying to push this and just shove it into every single facet of life, it seems now, at least online. Because now you have new Windows operating systems with Windows 11 that come with an AI chatbot or assistant, their version of ChatGPT, which is Copilot, that is now integrated into pretty much everything. And even LG, with the new updates, I saw a Reddit post the other day of LG TVs getting a new update that installs Copilot on it, and it can't be deleted. So it's just so frustrating at this point, and I totally get the community's concerns when it comes to the data centers, because they might tout it and saying, oh, it'll create 200 jobs or whatever. But at the same time, if you look at the workforce now and the way the economy is going with this AI boom or bubble, whatever you want to call it, we're really just setting it up so that AI can take all of the entry level white collar jobs that are just being wiped out across the board in favor of cutting costs to use automation to do mundane tasks or anything like that. And then you have this problem where you're getting rid of all the entry level jobs, and then CEOs and companies are now complaining that people aren't trained as well. And it's largely due to the fact that they did not get that entry level experience to know the ins and outs of whatever it is they're doing. And it creates this whole cycle where it just does more harm than good, in my opinion. I mean, it's just a very scary thought, if we're being honest, because this is just my opinion. This is just my feelings on the matter. But, I think, studies and research has shown that when it comes to AI in the future and the potential capabilities of it, everybody likes to tout it as this world-changing thing, which I think it will be, but it's not going to be a net positive, in my opinion. I think these companies, they're going all in on something that is going to take jobs away from people. I mean, we're going to see unemployment continue to creep up as research and studies have exploited and shown that people in job markets, it's just such a mess right now. And the amount of fake jobs that are out there right now, and it's already hard enough as it is to get hired somewhere or at least hear back from somebody that's not an automated AI response. And jobs are using AI to filter out keywords and deny applicants. It's just really, really rough time right now, unfortunately. But the sentiment that is felt throughout Shreveport residents when it comes to being against the construction of this AI data center, again, I totally get it. I'm with you there. It's just very frustrating. So it remains to be seen what is going to happen with the proposal. But you can follow us on all of our socials, our website at ktalnews.com, where we will continue to follow this story and update you as soon as we get new information available. But that is all we have at the moment when it comes to the data center in Shreveport. And again, they highlighted a great point in the petition where they're not even concerned about the people who it would most affect, because you see it across the board in the country where rural areas get these data centers, and then their electricity bills just skyrocket because of the sheer power and electricity that is required to operate these data centers, as well as the gallons of water each and every day. It's just a whole mess right now. Hopefully it gets a little bit better. You just got to keep moving forward each and every day, control what you can control, and just keep walking. There's hopefully light at the end of the tunnel, but we'll get through it together, I promise you. But looking ahead to some other things that happened over this weekend, if you tuned into last week's episode of KTAL News Now, you'll know that comedian and actress Zhao Yang Summers went to the Live Event Center in Bossier City over the weekend. She had a comedy show on Friday night, and it was pretty good. I was able to go and see her after interviewing her. If you haven't seen the full interview, you can go to our YouTube at KTAL News or our website at ktalnews.com and find the KTAL News Now tab. And you can find the full interview there. And she was such a treat when it came to learning about her and her career. I got to ask so many things about how she came to be where she is now, having the support of her family. She originally was from China, ended up going to college in Kentucky. And she said that was just such a huge culture shock to her. And then now she is residing in Los Angeles and has made a career for herself in comedy. So it was really, really cool to see that kind of story, that success story of, somebody who came to a new place, didn't know anything, didn't know the language, and just made a name for herself on a national stage. I mean, that is really, really awesome to see. And it definitely showed in her comedy because she talked a lot about growing up and like her mom and just that dynamic in their household from moving from country to country. And it was so much fun. It was We got a lot of laughs. It was a great time. So if you were there, let me know. You can email me at amocklin@ktalnews.com. I'm sure you have if you have any pictures or videos from the event, you can email me again at amocklin@ktalnews.com. We would love to share them on our site. But it was such a blast. And if you can go to see one of her shows, I highly recommend it. You can look at her upcoming schedule because she is on a worldwide tour right now. It is the What Species Are You tour. And you can find more information about that and more on our website at ktalnews.com. Again, that is Zhao Ying Summers. She is such a riot, and I was thoroughly entertained by her performance. That was the first time I'd seen a stand-up comedian in a very long time, if not the first, aside from like a cruise ship. Because you know how they have like cruise ship comedians and stuff, but I was thoroughly entertained. You know, it's really not usually my thing when it comes to stand-up comedy or like comedy specials on like Hulu or Netflix. It's usually not my cup of tea, but I was very, entertained by this one. And if you aren't able to make one of her shows, she actually released an hour special on Hulu. It is called What Species Are You? So you can check it out. It's streaming now on Hulu if you aren't able to make one of her shows. And that was actually her debut hour show on Hulu. So again, go check that out on Hulu. It's called What Species Are You? Not species, just one species. But speaking of women and our Remarkable Women contest at KTAL, you can nominate a remarkable woman in your life. And the deadline for this is December 19th. So get your donations in. We are still trying to get some donations for our nominees. And this is, for those of you who don't know what the Remarkable Women contest is, it is KTAL's annual contest honoring local heroes. And you can nominate somebody who you think fits this bill. They can be local advocates, community leaders, everyday heroes, you name it. If you have somebody in your life that you want to nominate, again, the deadline is December 19th to nominate a remarkable woman in your life. All you have to do is scan that QR code right next to me, or you can visit our website at ktalnews.com. If chosen and if they are selected for a nominee, they will be recognized for their service and commitment to their communities that they serve. And we will be highlighting each and every one of their stories starting in March for Women's History Month. So we will be doing that on broadcast, online, and all of our social platforms, just getting her name out there. Because if she ends up winning, she gets a $1,000 donation to a charity of her choice. And that is fully provided by us. And if you are a winner, you will then go to the National Remarkable Women Contest in Nashville, Tennessee. And at that one, you can win so much more. We're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars for an ad campaign to promote your charity of your choice. And all of the proceeds and donations will go to that charity. So it's supporting a great cause no matter what. So be sure to nominate a remarkable woman in your life by December 19th. Again, that is December 19th. That is the deadline to get your nominations in. And all you have to do is visit our website at ktalnews.com or scan that QR code right there to learn more and to nominate somebody in your life. But that is all I have today for today's edition of KTAL News Now. Be sure to stick with us on our website and our social media at KTAL News. Our YouTube page is where you can view all of our previous editions of KTAL News Now. And you can find more local, breaking, and trending news stories on our website at ktalnews.com. And we stream every single day, Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. at that website. Again, that is ktalnews.com. So you can find more information about the show, view previous editions on our YouTube, and a whole lot more. We stream every single day, Monday through Friday. So be sure to tune in at 1 p.m. But for now, I'm Anthony Mocklin. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for joining us.